Retirement is coming for all of us, and most people are completely unprepared for the part that money can't fix. We're not talking about your portfolio, we're talking about the identity crisis that hits harder than any market crash. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can hit your number, retire on a Friday, and feel utterly lost by Monday morning. The paycheck stops, the calendar empties, and suddenly you're asking yourself a question nobody warned you about: who am I without the job? Research from some of the world's longest living communities, the so-called blue zones, consistently shows that purpose and social connection are the real predictors of a long, satisfying life. It's not the 401k balance, it's whether you still feel like you matter to someone. Think about what your career actually gave you beyond the income structure, identity, belonging, a reason to get dressed in the morning. The moment that scaffolding disappears, a lot of people don't fall gracefully, they free fall. The smartest financial planners in the room are now talking about something called the 3 T's: time, talent, and treasure as the real retirement portfolio you need to manage. Most people obsess over the treasure column and completely ignore the other 2, which is honestly like training only your right arm for the Olympics. Time is the first resource, and in retirement, you suddenly have more of it than you know what to do with 40 to 60 extra hours a week that used to belong to your employer. The people who thrive are the ones who intentionally redirect that time toward causes, communities, or people who need exactly what they have to offer. Talent is the second T, and this one's criminally underused because your professional skills don't retire when you do. The retired accountant who volunteers to help nonprofits manage their books isn't just being generous. They're keeping their mind sharp, staying relevant, and filling a room full of people who are genuinely glad they showed up. Treasure is the third T, and here's where we have to bust a myth right now. You don't need to be wealthy to make a financial impact. Even modest, consistent giving or investing in your community creates a feedback loop of meaning that no brokerage account can replicate. The historical pattern here is painfully predictable and almost darkly funny. Generation after generation spends decades building wealth and almost zero time building a post-work identity. Then they arrive at the finish line, wave the flag, and discover the race they trained for is over, but they forgot to plan the party. We've seen this play out in the data too, where studies show that depression and anxiety rates spike dramatically in the first 2 years after retirement, particularly among men who tied their entire sense of worth to their professional title. It's not a character flaw, it's a planning gap, and it is absolutely fixable. The practical lesson from every person who has navigated this transition well is that intentionality is the whole game. You have to be proactive, almost aggressively deliberate about deciding how you want to matter in this next chapter before the chapter begins. Don't wait until you're already retired to figure this out. Start reverse engineering your purpose 5 to 10 years out, the same way you'd reverse engineer your savings target. The goal is to walk into retirement with a full calendar of meaning, not an empty one you're desperately trying to fill. At the end of the day, the discipline that built your financial life is the exact same discipline that will build your purposeful retirement consistency, patience, and showing up even when motivation is low. The size of your legacy isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in how often someone is genuinely glad you walked through the door. Comfort yourself with this. You don't need to have it all figured out perfectly, because meaning is something you build iteratively, one relationship and one contribution at a time. The people who age best aren't the ones with the most money. They're the ones who never stopped being useful to someone who needed them. And if you're thinking about the financial side of that next chapter, whether it's real estate investing, home renovation projects, or finding the right lenders to help you build generational wealth, check out our links in the description below, and let's get you started.